Good morning, students. So you can see here that today's topic is the slave dynasty, and that last video we have discussed about the Delhi Sultanate, and there we saw that some of the Turkish invader came in our country, visited in our country, and also they have started ruling over it. Some of the invader they plundered the wealth and went back to their country, and some of the invader they wanted to stay and control our territories like that Muhammad Ghori. That Muhammad Ghori at last you saw that at last he defeated Prithviraj Chauhan that who was ruling in Delhi and Ajmer, and after that he handed over his total territory in the hand of his one slave, that's namely Kutubuddin Aibak. So of course you can understand that Kutubuddin Aibak will be the founder of these slave dynasties. He started only these slave dynasties, and from this chapter we will learn about the rulers of the slave dynasties and the another rulers, Kutubuddin Aibak as a founder, his contribution for these dynasties, and he is a great founder of this dynasty, or the real founder of this dynasty was Iltutmish. We will know about him also. His daughter Rajia Sultana as a woman sultanate ruler, and Ghiyasuddin Balban as a last ruler. We will discuss about it. So here you can see the ruler name who ruled over these dynasties. First, Kutubuddin Aibak, founder. Next is son-in-law Iltutmish, and Iltutmish has two sons and one daughter, but Raja Sultana started her ruling in these dynasties because other two was inefficient, and last great ruler of this dynasty was Ghiyasuddin Balban. Here you can see the Muslim annexation of India led to the establishment of Delhi Sultanate. The Delhi Sultanate existed from 1206 to 1526. You have to remember Delhi Sultanate, these dynasties existed from 1206 to 1226 CE. It is very important, and during which it was ruled by five different dynasties: the slave dynasties, Khilji dynasties, Tughlaq dynasties, Sayyid dynasty, and Lodi dynasty. So you have to remember was the first dynasty of the Delhi Sultanate, slave dynasties. Lodi dynasties was the last dynasties of this of this Delhi Sultanate. The empire of the Delhi Sultanate spread across the North India, and they even occupied territories in the southern part of India. Maximum portions of the Delhi Sultanate over the northern part of country. The Delhi Sultanate said that have influence of the Indian ethos. Ethos means theory. It kept the great influence because these rulers came from the foreign countries, so their culture tradition was different, and that's why they kept a great influence in our countries, and they started a new culture in our country. This is Indo-Islamic culture. Indo means Indians, and Islamic in their cultures. It mixed up, and it take the form of Indo-Islamic culture. The slave dynasty is also known as Mamluk dynasties. Why? Because slave, this is it come from the word Arabic word Mamluk, and through some of the rulers began their careers as slaves, and they become the free by the time, and they ascended the throne. That's why this dynasty was known as Mamluk dynasty, and the founder of this dynasty was the Kutubuddin Aibak. So he ruled 4 years, 1206 to 1210. The slave dynasty which ruled Delhi from 1290 1206 to 1290 CE is founded by Kutubuddin Aibak. In slave dynasty ruled from 1206 to 1290, and in between you can see that different rulers. I told of the last ruler Ghiyasuddin Balban was a great last ruler, but actually not a last ruler. He was slave of Muhammad Ghori, and the dynasty is founded by him. That's why this dynasty was known as slave dynasty, because he was a slave of the Muhammad Ghori, and Muhammad Ghori hand over this kingdom in this dynasty in his hand, so that's why this dynasty becomes a slave dynasty. So here you can get that one answer. Why did the slave dynasty, why did the Delhi Sultanate or first dynasty of the Delhi Sultanate was known as slave dynasty? Because the first ruler of this dynasty was a slave. Qutbuddin Aibak was the first independent ruler in India. So it is very important. Independent ruler in India was, or first Turkish ruler was Qutbuddin Aibak. He remained the Sultan of Delhi, or Sultan of the Delhi, for the 4 years. He had remarkable military powers and conquered large parts of the territories. He was just and generous person. Here you can see that his character, generous person, and he was donating lot of wealth to the poorer. So that's why he was known as Lakh Bucks, or giver of lakhs to his liberal donation. So he loves to donate the people to the people, poor people. He built the Quat ul Islam mosque in Delhi, Adhai Din Ka Jhobra in Ajmer, and started a building Qutub Minar. So here you can see that two great architectural development happened in the time of Qutbuddin Aibak. One is Quat ul Islam mosque in Delhi, Adhai Din Ka Jhobra in Ajmer. And he started the building of the Qutbuddin Aibak, but he cannot finish. Who finished it? See here. His son-in-law Iltutmish finished it. Here you can see that Mongolian conquest. Here you can see this is the territories. Pink colors, whatever here shown here. This was under control of the Delhi Sultanate Emperor. Next you can see why his successor Iltutmish, means that one Qutbuddin Aibak started to build the Qutub Minar, that one finished by his successor, who Iltutmish. Qutbuddin Aibak died when he fell off the horse. So he not died normally. He fell off from the horse, so that's why he died in 1210. Next ruler Iltutmish, and he was known as the real founder of this dynasty. What is the difference between the founder and real founder? Who can consolidate the territories by his own power or own strength, so that ruler become the real founder of this dynasty. Here we will see that Qutbuddin Aibak, did he able to consolidate the territories or not? See here, after Qutbuddin Aibak's death, the son-in-law Iltutmish ascended the throne. There was a various nobles and local rulers who were not ready to accept his authority, as Iltutmish was previously as a slave. See, here is a problem also here. Who the noble and for the local rulers, they are not able to take him, accept him his authorities, because he belong from the slave dynasty, or belong from the slave tribes. He tried to pacify them by the granting lands. So he tried to calm down their anxieties by granting some of the land. When the Rajput rulers declared their independence, Iltutmish defeated them as well. So he also defeated the Rajput rulers. Rajput was a great contenders of him. So he defeated the Rajput rulers and also bring the peace atmosphere, a pleasant atmosphere in his territory. The Yalduj of the Ghaznavis, Kubacham Sin, Khaljis of Bihar, and Ali Mardan Khan of Bengal, Aram Saha of the some of the contenders who desired to ascend the Delhi throne. Contender means competitors, who tried to defend him to ascend the throne. Iltutmish, however, very successfully crushed his rival. So he defeated that many persons, that restrictions. He defeated them. He overcome their defend and he ascended as a slave dynasty, as a slave ruler of this Delhi Sultanate. The Mongols under Genghis Khan. See here we can see the Mongolian attack. The Mongol under the Genghis Khan had reached India while ch- chasing the Shah of Iran. Here the Mongol rulers tried to come India and came into India uh, by chasing Shah of Iran, who wanted to seek shelter in India. But Iltutmish refused to give shelter of Shah of Iran and thus saved his kingdom from the cruelties and horrors of the Mongols. They are the very dangerous tribes, and these Mongolians will start the new dynasty, Mughal Empire. From Mongol to Mughal Empire come. So that time Mughal emperor was Babur, and who was the belong from this Genghis Khan's families. Timur and Genghis Khan's families, they are both of the bloods was inside of the Babur. So we'll discuss about it afterwards. Here you can see the kingdom from the cruelties and the horrors of the Mongols. Iltutmish saved by refusing the shelter to the Shah of Iran. If at the time Iltutmish gave the shelter to Shah of Iran, so at the time Mongols, Genghis Khan could attack in our country. Iltutmish extended the patronage of art and literature. He was a great builder. He got the he got the construction of Qutub Minar completed, which had been started by Aibak. He built a mosque at the Badoon and a tomb in the red stone at Delhi. So here you can get that evidence. He built a mosque in Badaun and a tomb in some tomb or in red stone at Delhi. There is no denying the fact that Kutubuddin Aibak founded the slave dynasties. We know all are known that Kutubuddin Aibak that founded the slave dynasties, but because of the ultimate death, ultimately death of the did not have the time to consolidate. He didn't get to consolidate, make these countries more perfect. Didn't give the perfect shape for ruling. It was due to the efforts of Iltutmish, who, by this tactful method, was the consolidate the slave dynasties. So he made the several. That's why here I already told you that he consolidated the these dynasties, the slave dynasties. So that's why he became the real founder of these dynasties. He made the several reforms to organize his government. First, he created the Turkan-e-Chahalgani, a organize of ruling ruling classes, ruling nobilities. So, with the help of the noble person, he made one organization, and that one was known as Challis Chakra or also Turkan-e-Chahalgani. So, Iltutmish founded this organization. There was 40 nobles, and they were ascending. They were assisting the king. But at last, when we'll start or learn about the Ghiyasuddin Balban, at the time we can see the Ghiyasuddin Balban abolished the power of this Turkani Chahalgani, and he also abolished the post of these nobles. Then he divided the land of his empire into the various units, which was called Iktas. So divided land is called Iktas. The officers and the nobles were assigned with the Iktas in lieu of salaries. So they are getting Iktas instead of the salary. They are getting Iktas, means small part of land. He also introduced silver and metal coins. These coins were called the Tanka and Jitals. So Tanka and Jitals were published or introduced by Iltutmish, and Iltutmish were died in 1230 CE. So from